talk about fracking?
Yes, let's. Fracking, or hydraulic fracturing, is the process of extracting natural gas or oil by drilling thousands of feet deep into the ground and injecting a high-pressure mix of water, sand, and chemicals into the rock. Energy companies use fracking to access unreachable oil and gas reserves. It's been used for decades in more than 1 million wells. Today, it's a process used in more than a dozen states, with Texas and Pennsylvania seeing the highest levels of fracking. So far, it has helped boost U.S. energy production, but it also comes with a lot of concerns. According to the EPA, scientific evidence shows that fracking can lead to chemicals and other dangerous substances seeping into drinking water under some circumstances, like in areas with limited or declining water availability. That can happen at different points within the fracking water cycle. Chemicals are also a big concern. The EPA says there's a lack of peer-reviewed toxicity data. Out of over 1,600 chemicals the agency assessed, they found that 11% were toxic when ingested, posing a human health risk. Researchers at Yale also found that Pennsylvania children who live near fracking sites at birth are 2 to 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with leukemia by the time they're 7 years old. It's not just human health impacts, but environmental ones too. The U.S. Geological Survey says fracking can lead to chemical spills, degraded surface water quality, and even more earthquakes. The number of induced earthquakes, or those caused by human activity in the central U.S., has increased dramatically over the past decade, with at least 100 earthquakes of a magnitude 3 or higher every year since 2013. From 1973 to 2008, that number was just 25 a year. This is primarily caused by disposing of the waste fluids that are a byproduct of oil production. When fluids and wastewater are injected in the ground, it adds pressure to the area that can lead to seismic activity. 2% of induced quakes in Oklahoma are linked to fracking operations. Fracking was pushed by the fossil fuel industry in the 80s as a bridge toward a cleaner energy future by focusing on gas rather than coal. But research has shown that methane emissions from the process is anything but clean. Earlier this month, one study found that liquefied natural gas exports in the U.S. have a 33% greater greenhouse gas footprint than coal. And data from the Sierra Club shows that just 9 operational natural gas terminals in the U.S. produce the emissions equivalent of 168 coal plants or 156 million gas-powered cars. Emissions like these are what trap heat within the atmosphere, causing global temperatures to rise and leading to extreme weather events and other long-term issues. You might have heard about this process a lot when it comes to the election.
If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day 1.
I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking.
And she's right. The president cannot ban fracking. That's something only Congress can decide. But it's going to continue to be a hot issue for the states where it's most prevalent. Pennsylvania is the nation's 2nd biggest natural gas producer and also a major battleground state. Fracking has always played a major role in the state, but CBS News polls have found that voters in the state are divided over the process. In 2020, registered voters in Pennsylvania were pretty evenly split on fracking, with slightly more opposing than favoring it. This year, CBS polling finds narrow majorities in favor of fracking, ranging from 53% this spring to 56% earlier this month. From energy production to environmental and human health, the impacts of fracking can be widespread. And with the electorate divided on this issue in a battleground state, how Trump and Harris address the future of the industry could be pivotal in the coming months, especially as America aims to reduce its emissions. And that's why 2024 just may be the climate election.